How long does it take for ibuprofen to work? When was the last time you complained of nausea, fever, and swelling? Most of you know and have read about the saying health is at your hands. However, what happens if you fall ill and experience pain? You turn to drugs, right? Ibuprofen is just one such widely used medication used as a painkiller. However, since a learned customer, you ought to know about ibuprofen so that you are well conscious of its advantages and disadvantages. How does ibuprofen work? A human body, when affected by injury or illness, releases compounds called prostaglandins. This can be when ibuprofen comes of help by blocking the production of prostaglandins. When released in mind, prostaglandins lead to pain and swelling, thereby resulting in fever. 1. The pain-killing effects of ibuprofen start immediately after the dose is accepted. However, do bear in mind that the anti-inflammatory consequences of ibuprofen can take some time, say a couple of weeks, to appear. According to health experts and research findings, ibuprofen takes 15 to 30 minutes to kick in and around 1 to 2 hours to take effect, or show effect. But hang on, much depends on what is there in your gut or, for that matter, what you have eaten and munched upon recently. That is because your body does not have to follow a very long process of breaking down a tablet or a tablet. Instead, it readily passes into your blood and provides you instant relief from pain. Since no two humans are the same, it may take less than 15 minutes for ibuprofen to show results. And the individual who has taken ibuprofen should feel much better within 30 minutes to an hour. How long does ibuprofen last? Once you have taken the dose, the pain-killing effects of ibuprofen start instantly. However, as stated before, the anti-inflammatory effects take some time. Getting the best results might require you even 3 months. After 2 hours of ibuprofen ingestion, only half of the energetic dose will be present in your system. After 6 hours have passed, 1/8 of the dose remains in your system, which is insufficient to make out any consequences. After a while, almost none of the ibuprofen remains in your system. So, it is safe to say that, on average, ibuprofen continues in your body between 4 to 6 hours. How often does it take ibuprofen? Well, you can take ibuprofen 3 to 4 times every day, maintaining 4 to 6 hours between each dose. But remember that each dose of ibuprofen needs to be taken after you have had food, not on an empty stomach. Ibuprofen comes in 200 mg capsules. The maximum dosage, advisable, is 1200 mg, meaning 6 tablets every day. However, this dose is intended for minor health issues, which means you should not go past the consumption of ibuprofen without consulting your physician. What happens if you miss a dose? With so many things to remember in a day, odds are you might neglect to take ibuprofen. But if you forget a dose, still take that, after you remember. But if it is time for the next dose, then skip it. Remember to not take another dose of ibuprofen, just to make up for the lost ground. What happens when you overdose? Any medication, when taken in the form of an illness, can prove to be harmful. And ibuprofen is no exclusion. In this case, ask your physician immediately or telephone the helpline at LRB 800 RRB 222 1222 free. What can ibuprofen cure? Ibuprofen is clinically used to reduce fever and treat inflammation or pain caused by headaches, toothache, back pain, even arthritis, menstrual cramps, or minor injury. If your question is who can shoot ibuprofen, the 2 adults and children, who are 6 weeks old, may take it. However, old-age individuals or senior citizens will need to be extra careful when taking ibuprofen, as it can raise the chance of falls. Hence, a low dose is safe for older patients. What not to take with ibuprofen? All prescribed medications come with their do's and don'ts. The same is true with ibuprofen. This can increase the chances of your falling sick with stomach bleeding. Also, avoid taking aspirin when you are taking ibuprofen. In case you have to take both aspirin and ibuprofen, then in that instance, take ibuprofen at least 8 hours before or 30 minutes after you take the aspirin, non-enteric coated type. Who should not take ibuprofen? Never make the mistake of taking ibuprofen than what was prescribed to you, as you do not know how much your body absorbs. Also, before taking ibuprofen, if you haven't eaten something healthy or filling, then the chances of vomiting cannot be ruled out. So take ibuprofen following meals, never consume it on an empty belly. When you take ibuprofen during the last 3 weeks of pregnancy, it may damage the unborn baby. So, if you're pregnant, avoid taking ibuprofen medication, but consult your doctor first. If you're breastfeeding, don't take ibuprofen without a physician's consultation. In addition, do not give ibuprofen to a child who is younger than 2 years old. Taking physician's guidance is an absolute must for breastfeeding moms before taking ibuprofen. Self-medication is always a dangerous practice, so speak to a registered medical practitioner before you take the painkiller ibuprofen.